guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Just day before yesterday, I did a video on dating and that guys can actually date. You need a little bit of skill. You need the ability to go out and talk to people because the dating apps, you're not going to have any luck on it. And it was about short guys dating, but it also pertains to heavier guys, maybe less attractive guys. And I wanted to do a follow-up to that because a lot of the stuff that I do is kind of black pill stuff, which is, dating is increasingly difficult. And, of course, the quality of women that you get when you are dating is pretty bad. Let me adjust my chair here. And, I got a little bit more pushback than I usually do on my videos, which is okay. A lot of you guys are saying, hey, you know what? I make good money. I'm in decent shape. I haven't had any luck. But I still boil it all down to personality, confidence, and the ability to comfortably talk to people. To give you a bit of an example, when I was younger, the dating apps didn't exist. You had to make your move in person, and you had to know how to talk to people, and you had to know how to work your way in to date. And I had very good luck dating. I still actually have decent luck when I am dating if I meet somebody in person. I haven't had a dating app installed in a couple of years other than to maybe find some dating profiles of the day. I haven't used them. I got 0 replies on the dating apps, me personally, because when they see, hey, he's 5'6", 5'7", depending if he's, got thick shoes and he's bald, and I don't know what he does for a living because I just put I was retired on there. I never got anything. And the ones that I did get were not my type at all. We'll just leave it kind like that they weren't my type. So today I'm going to talk about, despite what women say, personality matters the most, because they put grocery lists. They put grocery lists on these dating apps, and the dating profile of the day that I'm going to do today is a grocery list. And when you see that on a dating app as a guy, I know I've done this where she says, must be over 6 foot tall. I go, nope. And I swipe left. And after you do enough left swiping, right swiping, you're sitting there and you've matched with no one. I'm telling you, just pretend the dating apps don't exist in your dating world. But I have had fun conversations. Now this is going back quite a few years now, 3 years, I'll be honest. So the dating apps did exist then, but maybe it was 4 years. I forget how long ago it was, but the dating apps were out there. The Tinders and the Bumbles and all that stuff was out there. But in the real world, whether I was picking up a pizza or checking out at a grocery counter line or talking to a bank teller, in various instances, it's still easy to talk to people. And it is still possible to flirt. I know a lot of you guys disagree with me. But if you're interested in dating, if it is something you want to do, we're going to talk about that. I do want to do a couple of issues where I'm not always talking about black pill. So even though women want 6 foot guys, they say they want athletic, they say they want XYZ. A good example is my friend Mike. I'll call him Mike. That's not his real name. But I've talked about him before. He's a network engineer that I used to work with. The guy was, 6'1", 6'2". So yes, he did have the height, but he was also 300 some odd pounds. Like, he is a big, heavy dude. Not athletic at all. Neck to knuckles, down to toes, covered in tattoos, and not some big thematic Japanese tattoo. He looked like Pete Davidson does, and I actually like this. This is what my friend Matt looks. Not even quite this bad, because Pete's got some. He's got some stuff on here that looks absolutely ridiculous. So my friend at least had professional tattoos, right? A big ginger beard, bald. He still dated, and he still dated very attractive women. And when I mean very attractive, like, most of you guys look at him and consider him a 4 or 5, like average at best. He was dating 6s, 7s, and 8s. He was. But he was really comfortable in talking with people. He could make them laugh. He had very self-depreciating or deprecating sense of humor, which is something I also use. So the reason why I want to talk about Pete Davidson is because he's an example of a guy that, while he is tall, yes, he does have that one thing, he's not really traditionally that good looking. And this Evie article kind of goes into that a little bit. So what I want you guys to do is have a little bit of hope if you do want to date. Now, again, if you don't want to date, I'm sure you're you're more than happy to say it's a waste of time, dude. You have to put in way too much effort for way too little return, and guys, don't waste your time. I can kind of agree with that. I'm not saying that this is necessarily going to be the end all, but I never want someone going from cradle to grave and say, oh, I never tried that because there's no chance I'd have a shot. I mean, if this guy, Pete Davidson, yes, he's on SNL and he's on TV, but this is not a good look. Certainly, I think we can agree to that. If this guy is dating some of the hottest Hollywood stars, that these are women that have more money than he does. These are women that have dated hotter guys than he is. Well, there's got to be something going on, and this article kind of talks about that a little bit. So I thought I'd cover this for today. They say from Evie Magazine by Megan Dillon, a serious investigation of Pete Davidson and his string of hot women. So this is Pete. And again, he's kind of nerdy guy next door. Not awful looking for sure, but they say from Ariana Grande to Kate Beckinsale, the SNL cast member has an interesting dating history and has most recently been linked to Kim Kardashian. The rumors began to swirl after she hosted SNL, which is where he met ex-fiancée Ariana Grande in 2016, or Grande, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, last month, and the pair have been spotted together several times since. Now, they say the intriguing thing about Pete Davidson dating so many beautiful, high-profile women that doesn't make sense is that it doesn't make sense. Pete Davidson isn't exactly a heartthrob. Don't get me wrong, he seems like he would be fun to hang out with, but he's not exactly Henry Cavill. I just don't get the hype, and I can't help but feel like I'm the only one who doesn't get it. Since I hate feeling left out, I went on a deep dive to find out why Pete Davidson is such a hot commodity. After an extensive investigation that should make me eligible for the Pulitzer Prize for journalism, I figured out why so many women are attracted to Pete Davidson. And they say Pete Davidson's dating history. And I'm going to show you the photos of these women after I read all of them. They say Pete Davidson's dating history includes Cassie David, Ariana Grande, Kate Beckinsale, Margaret Qualley, Kaya Gerber, and Bridgerton actress Phoebe Dynevor. Now I don't know who any of these women are, I'll be honest with you. Aside from the fact that these are all women that are gorgeous, many of these relationships appear to have been casual or at least started that way. His relationship with Cassie David lasted 2.5 years, but then he moved on to Ariana Grande. Their relationship started as casual, but the pair got engaged and then broke up within a period of a few months. Now, let me show you the photos of these girls here real quick. I don't need to scroll up. Let me remember where I am. Okay, I don't remember the each girl, but this is one of them. Again, I'm not saying she's supermodel, but she's certainly cute. And I think this one's the Ariana Grande one. There were lots of them to choose from. I just chose this one because it showed her crazy hair. And I think this is Kate Beckinsale, if I remember right, when I Googled these. I forget which one this one is. Again, we're not talking like super, super hot models, but we're also talking about women that are successful, that are popular, that are actresses, and that make tons of money of their own. I mean, they're not chasing after a guy that gets $15,000 an episode on Saturday Night Live. Now, yeah, that's still good money, but all these women have more money than he does, I believe. Here's him with another one. And again, if you saw this, look at his legs. You gym dude bros out there, like, these are embarrassing legs. They're probably bigger than mine right now. I haven't been working out. Her legs are bigger than his. Like, he got the scruffy beard going on. He's got the tattoos, but we do talk about bad boys, right? And of course, his fashion sense is absolutely atrocious. Here he is sitting there smoking a cig and walking along with her. But again, he is popping some pretty hot girls. Here's another one. I forget which one this one is. And here's him with Kim Kardashian. Now, Kim Kardashian's been seen with, had her back blown out by basketball players, and of course, she was with Kanye, but here he is with her. So I think that's all of them that I have, yeah. So my whole point is, again, when you look at this guy and you don't say to yourself, this is a guy that's going to be dating the hottest of the hot, well, in quotes, the hottest of the hot women in Hollywood. But he is dating women that are attractive, that are successful, that have multiple choices in men, right? I feel they could certainly do better than than him, but they want to be with him. And I mean, these tattoos, me personally, He just looks like a bathroom stall wall where a bunch of kids in high school were like scribbling and doodling everything that they had on. But he's having success. So this girl goes on to say, his other relationships appear to be on the more casual side, most of them only lasting a few months at the most. With Kim Kardashian coming off her divorce from Kanye West, I can't help but wonder if Pete Davidson is the perfect rebound. I know it sounds kind of mean because nobody wants to be known as the rebound, but his dating history doesn't lie. And look, I don't know about you guys, but if you could just hang out with and or sleep with and or date women that are equally as beautiful as you are or more attractive than you are, that make more money than you do, that are arguably way more popular than you are. I mean, I don't think anybody's tying their sails on his ship saying like, oh, Pete Davidson's going to get me somewhere in my Hollywood career. So what is it? What is it? Because most of you guys would be like, yeah, I'd date. I mean, any of these girls, again, you're not going to look at them and be like, oh, she's she's a supermodel. But I think you guys would be like, oh, yeah, I'd go on a date with a girl that looks like that, even if it was casual. Same thing with this one or this one. But the whole point is, again, that women will say they want a guy that is 6 foot tall, which he is. But do you think they want him covered in tattoos the way that he looks now? Maybe they do. Maybe they, because but you look at these girls, none of them really have tattoos. I don't know. Ariana Grande might, but she doesn't look like to have any tattoos. Nor does this one. These are very clean-cut, girl next door looking girls. He's got the bad boy thing going on. He's got the I don't give an F. I just do whatever, and they do their thing. So my point being, again, you don't have to necessarily be like him. You don't have to have all the tattoos. But there's something there that attracts these women to him. And it's got, in my personal opinion, and with the article that she's writing here, she's like, it's got to be his personality. It's got to be, because he doesn't do a thing for me. So why is it he's going out with all these hot women? She says, I can see why women would want to date him casually. He seems like nice and fun guy to hang out with, but not the guy you'd marry. However, the great mystery behind Pete Davidson's dating history might have a simple answer. He has a great personality. Writer Kristen Mulrooney. Wait, isn't this written by writer Kristen Mulrooney? No, this is Megan Dillon. Okay. They all sound the same after a while. Writer Kristen Mulrooney tweeted, I love how every time Pete Davidson starts dating another beautiful celebrity, everybody's like, WTF is happening? How did he do this? What's his mystery? And everybody refuses to entertain the possibility that he might have a nice personality. He might also have a really bad boy, like I don't give an F personality too. They don't mention that. The tweet was posted to the Talk 30 to Me Instagram account, and many fans are convinced this is the truth behind his dating history, especially after Kate Beckinsale liked the post. Think about it. Have you ever dated a guy who's gorgeous but has no personality or is a complete jerk? It instantly makes them a lot less attractive. On the other hand, a guy who isn't conventionally attractive can be a lot hotter if he has a wonderful personality. Famous women who haven't dated Davidson also see the appeal. Model Emily Ratajkowski weighed in on why she thinks he attracts so many beautiful women on a recent appearance of SNL with Seth Meyers. She said he's got the height. Obviously, women find him very attractive. Now, I know that's very gutting for a lot of you shorter guys to hear. Yeah, that's only one part of it. Because he's not in shape. He's got very deep set dark eyes. When he smiles, he's got very much a horsey smile. Yes, they're big pearly whites, but he's kind of got, like when he smiles, it reminds me of the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey, where it's all teeth. It's like a Cheshire cat grin. He's not muscular. I mean, he looks like a billboard, an old graffiti-filled billboard on its body. So there has to be some give and take. And for guys that are maybe shorter but have good muscles, they have better muscles than he do. It's not all about height. And again, I can say this is a 5'6" dude. Let's see. Ratajkowski continued, I feel like only other men feel that way. Guys are like, wow, what's that guy got? He seems super charming, vulnerable, lovely, said Ratajkowski, who is married to Sebastian Bear McClard. He said, his fingernail polish is awesome. He looks good. Good relationship with his mother. We love it. Although I'm not a fan of guys wearing nail polish, I'm all for a tall guy. Pete Davidson is 6'3", and someone who's charming and close with his family. Now, again, I know it's a sour grape thing to be, oh, well, see, he's tall, dude. But the tall, I'm telling you, at my height, I'm not 6 foot tall, obviously. I'm barely tall enough to reach the counter, even in my own apartment. Got to stand on tiptoes just to touch the stovetop. That's not all it is. And so you can go forward in life finding reasons why you are not going to be successful, or you can find ways to make yourself stand out. Now, he is tall, but he's not necessarily a great-looking dude. He does have a square chin. He doesn't have any muscle tone whatsoever. He looks like a scarecrow. He's covered in really bad tattoos, in my opinion. Again, he looks like a bathroom stall that people just scribbled all over. I mean, I'm sorry, but that is not a good look. And if we zoom in and look really close at this stuff, I mean, like this Tweety bird cage here, that looks like it was drawn with a Sharpie by a 4-year-old. You know, they didn't a red tattoo that just says goon on it. I heart wobbly. Like these are not. And Angelina Jolie, you guys will the actor that she dated. He's in Bad Santa. Why am I forgetting these actors' names? now I have to Google this. Billy Bob Thornton, right? All I have to do is type Billy Bob and A-N-G, and it brings up Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie. Now, again, you can say, oh, he's tall. All right, yeah, he's tall. Let me find a picture of this dude. Yeah, he's tall. But he's 20, 25. I don't know how many years older than her he is. And he was weird. He wore a vial of her blood around his neck. But he's like, we're not talking... You know, we're not talking. She went from this guy to Brad Pitt. And if you're like, well, I'm no Brad Pitt. Okay, then you could maybe be this guy, is my point. That's my point. So obviously he had something about him. And she continues on, I find very few things as attractive as a guy who can make me laugh. And Pete Davidson makes me laugh. His sense of humor isn't for everyone, but I love his self-depreciating style. One of my favorite comedic bits is him when he went shopping with Queer Eye stylist Tan France and couldn't stop making fun of himself. I'm going to play this clip. Now, if YouTube makes me pull it down, let me pause it here. If YouTube makes me pull it down, obviously it'll just be a big blank for those of you here on YouTube. I'm going to put the playback speed at 1 1/4, so hopefully they'll let it stay. But I want you to hear his sense of style. But look at the way he moves and he acts. He's not like some alpha dude, Chad dude bro, hot guy. He's kind of just a gangly, nerdy dude.
Like, those are cool.
I'm sure.
That's
yeah.
exactly, because
that's what you saw
that's
cool
my
as.
circle.
Yeah.
That's the last time I guess
You
grew
wanted
up
to be cool.
clothing-wise.
Okay. So if they were the right size, I would love the sweatpants.
Yeah,
I actually
they're
would.
baggy as
But they're
well.
just massive.
It's so funny. I posted a video on Instagram of these pants today being like, I'm the coolest.
I know, I saw your Instagram.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I wonder why he got really baggy pants. Oh, I know.
Oh,
just
man.
shrink them in the
Just
wash.
to know you were like sitting there like, oh.
What underwear do you wear?
I wear Calvin Klein.
Great.
Or Tommy Hilfiger.
Are they boxer?
Now, he talks like a nerdy 16-year-old dude in this interaction. And I can't imagine he's acting a lot different than he normally does. I think he's just kind of very comfortable and he makes fun of himself and he's not trying to act anything. Where I think a lot of people in Hollywood, and especially very popular people, very good-looking people, they have, well, I have a persona I need to portray, and that's what they do. Because, I mean, if he gets all excited about posting a photo of him in sweatpants, like, this guy's not a good dresser. I mean, all you have to do is look at some of the photos that I brought up. Like, this is not a great look. This is not a great look. I mean, a ripped T-shirt with holes in it. But, you know, what he reminds me of here is just somebody that like a typical frat dude that just pulls clothes out of a dirty pile and throws it on himself. And maybe that's something that's different, fresh, and unique in Hollywood.
Briefs?
Briefs. I can't wear regular boxers because of my balls, they go on one side. You know the bridge?
I love that we're talking about this.
No, do you have that problem as well?
Yes.
No, when I wear it, because like one ball will be on this side, they divide the balls, it's very uncomfortable.
You know, I've never talked about my balls on the show before. I like that we've got here.
No, yeah, it gotta be like stuff like this that keeps it all tight.
Okay, well, hold that up again.
Okay.
You've got, is that a hole?
Is that a hole? Where?
It's a hole.
Oh, I mean like Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus.
That's the tiny, how the look at that. How did he find that?
There is a place to get great basics.
And it just showed his fingernails as well. Let me see if I can grab that. He's got nail polish on. Now, I'm not saying, guys, that this is the right way to go about you dating and getting women. You would have to hold a very sharp object to my neck to get me to put on nail polish, and I probably wouldn't be seen in public with it. But the point is, he has a persona. He's very individual. He is different. He stands out. And yeah, the pickup artist group, they call it peacocking. But the difference is I don't know as he does it for other people. He kind of acts like he's doing it for himself. Maybe he's not, but that's the whole thing, is if you think he's doing it for himself, even if he's doing it for others, if you think he's doing it for himself, then that becomes part of who he is, and maybe that's the thing that's attractive. I'm not telling you anything of what he does is what gives success. But my point is that you can be successful if you do things a little bit different than everybody else. If you come across like every other guy on a dating app, and that's why I say don't use dating apps, it's very easy to go flick no, flick no, flick no, and these women are just rifling through like they're a deck of cards. But in the real world, if you have a different look, you have a unique look, or that is a look that is just enough to get you to stand out, but it should be your look, right? My look, at least recently, is sweatpants and boots up to my knees because there's snow all over the place. That wouldn't work very well for me getting a date. But the point is, again, it can be done if it is important enough to you. And for those because I have a lot of guys that message me and they say, dude, I've got this girl, or I want to do this, or I'd like to date, and do you have any advice for me? I'm not a dating coach. And there are guys out there that are dating coaches that maybe might be able to give you that information better. My point is, it can be done. I know what works for me personally when I want to date. You have to figure out what works for you personally when you want to date. All right? And how do you figure that out? By going through the motions. You know, people today want to take a pill that'll let them lose weight. They want to do some magic workout 8 minutes a day and have a body like this. Everybody wants everything in easy mode. The world is not easy mode. Life is not easy mode. If you want to look great from going to the gym, you're going to have to go for at least a year or two with a pretty tight diet to look good. If you want to have good skin, you have to take care of it. Not have stress, eat a good diet, drink a lot of water. If you want to have a good sense of style, you need to do something that is unique and interesting, even if it means looking like a slob, like Pete Davidson does here. Everything takes work. There is nothing that comes easily in life, or everybody would have it. So for those of you guys that do say, hey, I do want to date, it is important to me, I do want to get out there, it is there for you, but you're going to have to work for it. And you're going to have, probably for every one success, you're going to have 100 fails. You're going to have to get used to being turned down. Sometimes you're going to feel humiliated. Sometimes you're going to be embarrassed. But all those things happening to you over time, you can't embarrass me. You can't humiliate me because I don't care what you think about me. That is one of the benefits that comes out of doing this kind of stuff. And the other benefit is, if you do want to put energy into it, you can date. I'm just saying. I'm not going to play the rest of this. There's no need to. But you kind of get his style and again, the way he acts. Luckily for Pete Davidson, many women find his self-depreciating humor attractive. Comedian Ed Krasnick writes, self-depreciation and commenting on whatever you're feeling can be attractive to women. There's nothing like being authentic. You can't lose at being real and funny. If you want to do an impression, do a good impression of yourself. I think that's accurate, although you don't want to be vulnerable and sad and whatever. You want to make, like me, again, like when I've gone out or I've met somebody, and I have dated women that are taller than me. when I've said something, or when they say something about my height, I make a joke about my height because it doesn't bother me. I can't change it. So if they say, I don't know, you're a little short for me, I'm like, yeah, but my legs are long enough to reach the ground, so who cares? And then move on to something else. It's just another crap test. And that may be your looks, it may be your height, maybe your weight, maybe your awkwardness, whatever. But if you can get past that, it is available to you. They say there's, she continues, no wonder the leading ladies are down or drawn to Pete Davidson. She said simply, Pete makes the ladies laugh, and this lowers their level of stress, such as cortisol and adrenaline, when concurrently raising their endorphins and dopamine. Now, I will, so I'll say this much too. A buddy of mine who was really successful with women, his name was Ed. He was funny. Like, he would make women laugh all the time, whether it was in the club. He was very quick with comebacks and one-liners. My buddy that I was talking about, Mike, I want to make sure I use the same fake name, the big guy with the red beard and all that stuff. My buddy Mike, again, very funny, very quick on his feet, very sharp. Me, I don't like saying much about myself because it always sounds like I'm bragging, but I was comfortable with people. I can joke around. I mean, that's why I kind of got the nickname Joker. It's because I was just a smartass and I was always making fun of situations. When you don't take yourself too seriously, it allows other people to not take you too seriously. And then they can kind of kick back and enjoy who you are and kind of let their guard down a little bit. And I think that'll take you a long ways in the dating world. Now, I'm not saying you need to be funny. I'm not saying that you need to be a comedian. But I'm saying that you need to be comfortable enough in your own skin that if dating is part of what you want to do, having an I don't give an F attitude and being able to laugh things off and be laid back and be a smart ass and just be chill about everything will get you a very, very long way. But it is going to take work to get to that point in your life. They say, closing thoughts. Pete Davidson has a track record of dating some of the most beautiful women in Hollywood, despite being an average-looking guy. He manages to pull this off by having a good personality and a great sense of humor. Men take note. And then that's kind of where they wrapped it up. Again, I do agree with some of what they say. Pete is not, he is not a smashing, dashing, good-looking guy. And the women he's dating, if he did go out, and because, again, they do have him with Kim Kardashian, and they have several photos of him. I guess he did date her. And say what you will about her. Like, she's too old or she's not my type. Or okay, whatever. But, she's a thirst trap. There are a lot of dudes that would love to be with Kim Kardashian. She has lots of guys to choose from. She has a ton of money, of her own money, and I think she's probably got half of Kanye West's money. So she's not after Pete Davidson because of his money. Kanye was short. I think her in heels or whatever was probably around his height. So it's not a height thing. So what is it? The whole thing is, if it's part of a mystery, that mystery may actually work in your favor. And again, I'm not saying that it will, but something to keep in mind. So that if you guys say, hey, I do want to date, you're going to have to put some effort into it. But I'm saying don't take the black pill. Put some work into it. Put some effort into it. And if all that fails and you still want to have that one-on-one time, hire a professional at that point. But don't go through life not doing something because you're bad at it. If it's important to you, become good at it and then give it a go. Because I can sit here and say, oh, I'm a horrible guitar player. I'd never be a good guitar player, and now I'm angry because I can't play guitar. Or I could shut up, sit down, pick up a guitar, and start practicing. And at first, it's going to sound awful. It may take a year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, depending on how much time you put into it, until you are good at the guitar. Same thing happens with dating, especially nowadays. All right, let's do a dating profile of the day. All righty, first one here. Now, I don't have a photo to go with this, and this was translated. Somebody had to translate this because it was written in another language. But this is part of what I'm talking about when we talk about dating apps and the grocery lists, is that if you only go by what they set their standards, then number one, you'd never get a girlfriend. And number two, she'd never have a boyfriend, but she's dated lots of people. But listen, this is probably the biggest grocery list I've ever read on a dating profile. Her name is Lil Voice, Lilvois, little voice, but we don't know what, it was in another country, so this could be French, Spanish, I don't remember. She says, I pass all the requirements below. If you are messaging me, I expect you to pass them all as well. Okay, guys, so here's your grocery list. Raise your hand when you hit the point when you don't qualify. She says, I'm looking for someone who doesn't drink. I'm out. I like beer. And not because you are a recovering alcoholic. Doesn't smoke, doesn't use illicit substances, no drama, no screaming or yelling. Healthy, no illnesses, no medication, no digestive issues. Sometimes if I eat the wrong food, I can have a little gas. I'm just saying. I think that counts as a digestive issues. No eating or sleeping disorders. I snore. That. STD and HPV free with proof. No mental issues. If you're bipolar, ADHD, personality disorders, depression, moody, psycho, etc. No millennials. She's looking for a straight guy, not bi or curious or some other thing. Does not use pronouns when signing an email. No kids, but wanting to have them. No shedding or drooling dogs. My boy sheds. No exes you still communicate with. Is a decent human being that is moral, kind, respectful, caring, trustworthy, honest, normal, nature, good energy, calm, level-headed, old soul, down to earth, happy, and a gentleman. She sounds like the old Boy Scout creed. A Boy Scout, on my honor, I promise to be loyal, friendly, helpful, kind, obedient, right? Bonus points for not taking out your phone through dinner or owning owning a toolbox, preferably that rolls and has drawers. Now remember, she says she qualifies for all this stuff, so I guess she's saying that she has a toolbox that rolls out and has drawers as well. Extra bonus points for not using social media. Perpetually late people. Not apply. Oh, but wait. There's more. Updated because of this site. Do not message me if you are under 35 or over 45. A drunk, all your picture in the bar, have shirtless selfies in the gym, a grandpa, into hookups, a liar, a foodie, overweight, bald, video game addict, thinks nerds are cool, a city boy, uses hashtags, has pierced earplugs, face piercings, snores, has hearing issues, don't have a job, live with your parents, under 5'10", or would not actually approach me in public.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, sir.
Wow. Just wow. This girl's, man, she's so good she thinks her own farts don't stink, let me tell you. Now, when you see dating profiles like that, I know that's one of the reasons why I got off dating apps. I had zero luck on dating apps. But you know something? Even as an upper 40s something guy, going to be 50 this year, the big 50. You know, if someone were to describe themselves and they said, hey, you know what, I'm not in exactly great shape. I'm like 5'6", 5'7", whatever it is. I'm bald. I've got a little bit of gray coming in my beard. I'm almost 50 years old. Like that when you start looking, there's not a grocery list that I would make it on. There just isn't. But I've had no problems dating. I've had no problems dating at all. It does take work. It does take challenge. You have to know how to talk to people. You have to know how to express your personality. And that doesn't mean that everybody's going to be falling at my feet. It means you're going to take a lot of at-bats. You're going to step out there. You're going to take a lot of swings. And you're probably not going to connect with the ball very often. But the point is, it can be done. And you can even get better than average odds just by putting yourself out there, having the right personality, getting to the gym, making sure you look good in a t-shirt or with your shirt off, even if you're dressed in a sweatshirt like I am, because you know, hey, I'm in better shape than all these other guys. I'm better than them when it comes to that, or I'm healthier than them, or I look better than them. That is self-confidence. That all comes across when you're interacting with other women. So I know you guys give me some pushback. I know a lot of you guys down below will be like, dude, not worth it. Don't waste your time. And besides, you just end up leaving you or cheating you. Okay, I get that. But I'm the type of person in life that, again, you get one cradle to grave, right? You get one shot, at least here on planet Earth, depending on what your beliefs are. You get one shot at this. You can go through life saying, I can't, I won't, I don't, it's not worth it, it's not this, it's not that. Or you can say, you know something, I'm going to try, and I'm going to give it all I have, like truly all I have, to see if I can make this successful. And if you do, then you can say, okay, been there, done there, tried that. But if you just ask a girl out every once in a while and it's not a dedication to your life, then it's not really fair for you to say, oh, well, you can't, or you're lying, because you haven't done it yourself. And that's the way I look at life with everything. What are other countries like? I don't know. I didn't have a passport until I was 40, 41, maybe 42, 44. I forget when I got my passport. I'd never left the country. So I packed a backpack, traveled around the world, 36, 38 countries, whatever it was, in a year and a half. I just said, hey, I'm going to see the world because I don't want to go into the grave not knowing other cultures or meeting other. And you know what? When I was on the road, I dated. I had a good time. It was fun. So if I and this isn't necessarily in countries where it's easy, like if you're Guaylo, like I am, like the Philippines is easier, maybe on easy mode, or Thailand's on easy mode. Like I went out on a date with an Irish woman, and one with a woman in Ukraine, and one with a woman in Iceland, and like it's possible. It's possible. Even short me, the Nordic girls are way taller than I am. I went out on a date with a blonde who was like 5'9", 5'10". She was like four inches taller than me, but I was a foreigner in that land. Again, the point is because I could make her laugh, and I was laid back, and I did it casually, and it didn't feel awkward. That all takes practice. So, guys, I'm just saying, if it's important to you, go out there and get it. Don't listen to the naysayers that are like, it's not worth it, dude. Now, I tell you a lot of times it's not worth it, and that it's going to be a lot of effort for very little return, but that's my life experience. Yours might be different. So go get it if you want it. That's all I'm saying. Guys, if you'd like to support my work, links are below. As always, if you have, thank you very much. The best way you can support me is like, comment, share, subscribe, and join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com, where we've got some, we got forum threads and posts and stickies and like 6,000 memes. We've got a great meme page going. Lots of stuff to see over there. Go on over and check it out, and we'll see you in the next one.